Hello, everybody. This is John Lint, lead programmer of BB Digital Lab, and you are listening to or watching the BB&J podcast. I'm just a little bit differently, just for I'm wearing the holiday onesie. Um, so today, I'd like to talk to you guys about showcasing your expertise online. Now, I've talked a lot about branding and the importance of branding and just like branding, branding. I know I've stressed it pretty heavily, but let's talk about one kind of specific subset, the niche um, that is expertise. We've talked about branding, and it is a lot of different things. It's, I mean, your logos, your color schemes, um, having, showcasing your voice, showcasing what makes you unique and and special, right? Because people would want to work with a human being. People would rather sell to a human being, someone who they would enjoy hanging out with, right? It's that whole thing of, would you trust this person with a newborn puppy? And would you trust this person, or would you get a beer with them, or would you get a drink with them? You know, but expertise is a specific subset of the umbrella that is branding. So it's, I mean, it's what you're an expert at. It's what you have experience in. It's what makes you, there's one thing of like, can you be trusted? Are you someone who's good to work with? But then, do you bring something that people aren't going to get in many places? You know, I mean, at Baby Digital Lab, we pride ourselves on having a lot of experience with our specific niche. So with medical practices and realtors, especially, we know what specifically they're looking for. We know what they struggle with. We know who their audience is a lot better than a more general marketing firm. So showcasing that you're an expert in this certain thing, you're not trying to appeal to every single individual or every single industry, but you'll show that for those people that you are an excellent fit. So like for us, we do what we can to showcase our expertise in the medical field and the realtor field, because we want medical practices and realtors to know that we understand them. We hear them, we feel them, we get what they're actually struggling with, and what they've experienced before, what they're looking for in a relationship, right? That's where expertise is is hugely important. So yeah, I mean, let me just reiterate, why is showcasing your expertise online important? It's important because if you don't do it, then it's like, okay, well, this person might be a good person in general. This person might be a trustworthy person or have, a good leadership or whatever qualities. But are they specifically suited to me? Are they going to bring something to the table that I'm not going to be able to easily get anywhere else? You know, if there's, I guess I'll do the cupcake shop as always. If I'm a cupcake shop, I want to showcase my expertise. I want to showcase that, not only am I a cupcake shop, but I have a lot of skill. And if you want, like, I know some weddings, they have cupcakes instead of cakes for the personalized experience, right? I want them to know that I'm an expert in that, and I can give you high quality, gourmet, enjoyable cupcakes that'll really enhance that experience. Or if I mostly sell to businesses who do company luncheons, I don't know if cupcakes are the most healthy for company luncheons, but it's their prerogative. Then I want them to know that I can reliably consistently and effectively deliver them branded cupcakes. I mean, that's where expertise comes in. You're not trying to attract everyone, but you're trying to showcase to your target demographic how skilled you are. Even with general skill, even with general skills and not general skills, but skills that are widely applicable, you want people to know that you're an expert in that field. And that's especially true if you're on a team. That way, because, there's the old adage, jack of all trades, master of none. Well, okay, excellent example. If I am part of an auto body shop that works with high-end foreign imported cars, and let's say German imported cars or Italian imported cars. Italian, I'd say. For the people who are sending this stuff in, they really care about their cars. They really want to make sure that they're getting a good job. And if they're guaranteed that they have that, they're getting that expertise, they'll be much more likely to work with me. So online and in real life, I want to be showcasing what all of my team members, or if I'm working there, I want to showcase why I'm an expert. So if I'm working, if I'm running an auto body shop, I want to showcase my team. I want someone who has been spending years of their entire career working specifically on or are expert, showcase how they're experts in the engine. I want to showcase one of my other employees who's an expert in oh gosh, I don't know that much about cars, in the tires. I want to showcase someone who's an expert in the power steering. I don't know. But by having a team and showcasing that these individuals are experts in what they do, that is a very, very good selling point for my potential customers and clients. And regardless of what you're doing, it's important to have a general understanding, but they want to know that you're an expert in, at least a few things, but it's better to be an expert in something than an expert in nothing. Right? So let's talk about the best platforms to showcase your expertise. Are there platforms where you're probably not going to get very far? You can post all the stuff you want, but it won't really matter. Yeah. But rather than focusing on the negative, let's focus on the positive. What are good platforms for showcasing your expertise, right? That's what we're asking. Twitter, moderately good. It's good for those update posts. I'd say Instagram as well. Twitter's better and more configured for text posts or more text oriented. You still have media, but there is text matters a lot more on Twitter than it does a lot of platforms. I'd say about equal to Facebook. So Twitter and Instagram, that's where you really highlight your wins. You highlight your progress. You highlight I just gave this incredible presentation for the first time in Zurich, and closed $1 million contract. That's excellent. Showcase that. Showcase all your wins and your progress. Critically, people want to see your progress, and they'll see that your track record, your history, your growth and development as a professional, as an individual. That's very important. Critically, you're showcasing your expertise, right? So LinkedIn, that's the best place for anything business related, really, anything professional related. LinkedIn is the best place to go. Are there a few other business networking platforms? Yes, but the most broadly used, so the one that you're going to reach the most people, is LinkedIn. I would say probably it's better than Facebook, or it's better than Instagram and Twitter, but Facebook is actually a really good platform for not only showcasing wins but doing those updates. LinkedIn, you do everything, right? All the content I post the podcast, I post the link to this podcast on LinkedIn. So if you're watching this or listening to this from LinkedIn, hello, excellent to be seeing you. Updates, the expertise of, but I'm getting too much into brain. What you're an expert in, you highlight that, right? You talk about, now you don't just say like, I'm an expert in this, you show how you're an expert in it. So one of the reasons why I post articles is to show that I don't like, I'm just not like, oh yeah, I know web design. It's like, I have a cultivated understanding of the field, and on certain subjects, I have expertise in them. So I do what I can to highlight that. Am I an expert in the super heavy computer, web programming, Angular, and developing plugins from scratch? No. But can I make you an effective landing page? Yes. Can I copyright effectively? Yes. Do I have expertise in those fields? Relatively speaking, yes. No. With that, I just highlighted this. I just showed this. Here's the important thing. If you think, oh, well, I'm not an expert in this, like I literally just did, don't worry about it. Just showcase what you're good at. Showcase what you are passionate about, But yeah, showcase what you have a lot of experience in. Recognize what you have a lot of experience in, because that's incredibly important. The biggest part of highlighting your expertise is understanding what you're an expert in. We always talk about the importance of being humble, but this is a case where being too humble can be detrimental to you. You need to know what you're actually good at. And this isn't like, oh, well, maybe I'm a good runner, but I'm not as good as Usain Bolt. Or, oh, maybe I'm a good leader, but I'm not. Nope, I'm going to stay out of politics. I don't know, but I'm going to stay out of politics. Oh, maybe I'm a good This is weird. Oh, boom. Maybe I'm a good leader, but I'm not as good as Cyrus the Great. Maybe I'm a good painter, but I'm not as good as Picasso. Too bad. That doesn't mean you can't be an expert. And if you're always looking above, if you're always saying like, oh, well, I'll never be as good as them, or I'm not good as good as them, so I have to wait until I'm that good to actually start posting, that's a mentality I hear a lot. And that's nowhere near where you need to be going and how you need to be approaching it. Recognize what you're good at. Recognize what you put in the work. If you've spent hours learning a specific platform or CRM or like website builder, highlight that. Showcase your expertise. Showcase the results you've gotten. That's why I always talk about highlighting your wins, because that is showcasing your results. It's one thing to say I'm an expert in this. It's one thing to say, to like give some information. It's another thing to show results. Like if I'm saying I'm an expert roofer, that's one thing. Or even saying like, hey, I can do this for you guys. Or you can say, or like I'm an expert on shingled, the shingled roofs, for example, shingling. Swapping out shingling. Let's get even more precise. I can say that I'm an expert in that. But what's a lot better is showcasing, like, hey, here's this shingling job I did. Um, and that can be it. Like, if you're showing the quality of your work, then, I mean, that's why there's the phrase your work speaks for itself, right? If you work with someone, if you work with your clients, ask if you can post, you know? I mean, yeah, if you're a roofer, ask your clients if you can post their roof after you're done with it because you're excited about it. And if they're excited about it and they like the results, then they should say yes. If they don't, well, then that's their loss. But if you ask them, like, hey, can I post this? At least enough of them will say yes, that you can build that online portfolio. Why do you have a portfolio? Expertise, right? If I want to talk about, if I have a cupcake shop and I want to talk about business, of course, or selling to businesses or doing those, what did I call it? The mixers, meet and greets, business socials, social hour, whatever it may be. I can ask a business, like, hey, or I can just post it. I'm pretty sure. With cupcakes, it's like, hey, I just made this huge batch of cupcakes, and I, talk a little bit about the process and the time and the consideration you put into it, and like, I hope they enjoy it. That would be wonderful. Or I'm so excited to be part of this couple's marriage and that experience providing this service. That's an excellent opportunity to showcase your expertise. And I mean, this is true of anything, you know? If you're a hairstylist, ask if you can take pictures or, yeah, and then, grow your expertise in taking pictures, obviously. Get a little bit better at that. Ask if you can take pictures of someone after you cut their hair, especially if it's a complicated project. Um, there people are going to want to know that, or you're going to want to showcase that you're an expert in that, right? Especially certain treatments that maybe people have a lot of trouble with getting sustainably. If you're a painter, showcase that. Showcase all your work. You know why? Because that's building your expertise. If you're working with a specific material, like I remember, I think like last year, I worked on a project involving papyrus, which is but I had my group kind of working on that with me. I played a part, but not the entire part. But if you work with papyrus, for example, that is not the easiest material to work with. That's not the material that a lot of people know how to work with. And that's something that's great to show your expertise on. I can work with papyrus. I can make, these beautiful works on this material that a lot of people struggle with or have a harder time with. That is how you leverage your expertise effectively. And if you're watching this or listening to this and you're thinking, John, I don't know if I'm really an expert in anything, or I don't know how do I catalog this? How do I document this? You just got to start. At first, it might be a little weird, or it might be a little bit awkward. But as you go along, as you get feedback, make sure you're getting feedback. Ideally, you check the comments, which I know can be kind of hit or miss, or kind of toxic. But at the very least, ask people who can give you an honest opinion. And if you're not sure what you're an expert on, just honestly take a look at what you do, at what you've studied, at what you've put the time into, what people come to you for specifically. Write it out, make some sort an online list, whatever it may be, whatever you need to do as an individual, whatever works for you. Do that, and then start talking about your wins, start talking about your experience, start showcasing your results. This is something that everyone can be doing, everyone should be doing, you should be doing, especially if you want to, show that you're an expert in at least something in the business. Okay. So I'd like to thank you so much for listening and or watching. Um, the BB&J podcast comes out 1 to 2 times a week, depending. But um, even if there aren't 2 video podcasts, there will at least be an article on Thursday based on the Monday podcast. So I hope that you enjoy reading that. I do write those. It's part of that building my copywriting skills, a little bit of the expertise thing, highlighting that. But yeah, regardless, I will see you, or I guess be heard by you next week. Thanks for watching and or listening.